So first, always get your intention straight. Why do you want to get to know Allah better? Can you give me some answers? Why is it important to get to know Allah?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
For me, it helps me with my connection. It makes my connection with Allah much stronger, and it also helps me with my ibadah and my supplication. Because when I supplicate, for something specific, I know the name to use, and I call upon Him by that name. So yeah, so this connection between me and Allah much stronger than before.
MashaAllah, barakallahu feek. Okay, anybody else?
To get closer to Him.
Yeah, to get closer to Him, mashallah.
And everything else, Sister AJ said.
And everything AJ said. Mashallah. Okay. Anybody else want to add anything? Why is it important for you to get to know Allah?
I think it helps you as well, kind of like deal with trials.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It gives purpose to your life, right? Like you're like, okay, the one I'm worshiping, who is he? Right? So a lot of us sometimes we worship, but we don't know who we're worshiping. Like we don't know who he is. I remember one of my students, when she found out by the name Al-Wadud, she said, I was born and raised Muslim in this country. She's African American. She said, I was born and raised Muslim, but I never knew this attribute of Allah, the love. So how many Muslims don't know that Allah has a name Al-Wadud that means the loving, right? What do we mean by trustworthy?
His promise is true.
Yes, His promise is true. You can rely on Allah, right? When Allah says something, you can rely on that. It's true. It's a fact. It's going to happen, right? Okay, so I'm going to mute you. Okay, she muted herself. All right, so so the name we're doing today is a name that actually has a lot to do with the name Al-Shahid and the name Al-Mu'min. Can anybody guess?
Al-Muhaymin?
Yes, mashallah. Right after Allah tells us He is the grantor of security, He says He is the guardian over all, right? The guardian over all, Al-Muhaymin. So what does that mean, the guardian over all? Muhaymina is also used for the Qur'an, by the way. So this is an ayah in Surah Ma'idah, where, you see it here, min al-kitabi wa muhaymina. So that root is ha mim nun. Like when it comes to medical things, right? We tell you about ruqya. We tell you about reciting Fatiha. We tell you about doing the dua of pain, and you're like, I'm just gonna take Tylenol. You trust Allah, or do you trust Tylenol? Do you know what I mean? So these are all things where we see the lack of trust in Allah. Does that make sense?
I have a very good example of this. A good friend of mine was pregnant with twins, and the twins were born very early at 6 months, and the doctors here were telling her there's no hope for these kids, right? And that she should just wait for time to be over, and then and what she told them was, I don't believe you. Maybe you may be good at what you're doing, you may be an expert in health, but I don't believe what you're telling me. There's one thing I believe in, Allah. And I know that if I do make dua, as long as He wills for these twins to live, they will live.
MashaAllah.
So she managed to go to another country, and they incubated the babies. And alhamdulillah, today they're 8 months old.
MashaAllah.
They're born and they're healthy, and it's a boy and a girl. And this is exactly what reminds me. What it means.
Yeah,
that's it. Full trust in Allah.
Yeah.
And Allah made sure that these twins are now healthy and happy.
MashaAllah. Yeah, that's exactly it. What she did was she believed that Allah was trustworthy. She trusted Allah, and she understood that as humans, but it's so funny, like we will trust we will trust humans so quickly. Because why? They have a title. Because why? They're dressed a certain way. Because they have a voice of authority. And so immediately we're like, oh yeah, yeah, they must be telling the truth. But we don't trust Allah. SubhanAllah. Yeah, definitely. This is a name, and also al-mu'min, al-muhaymin. It's really, we should ask, all of us, we should ask ourselves, how much do I trust Allah, and how is that reflected in my decisions, in my actions? How is that reflected, right? Do I believe that He is the trustworthy? Do I truly believe that, right? That's why when you ask someone to make, you tell someone make dua, they say, okay, but what else? What else can I make? What else can I do? And so Allah Azza wa Jal calls them out on it and said, what you were trying to avoid, what you were trying to flee, it was actually no security for you there. There was no, you were not actually running away from danger. Because why? Whenever we are fleeing away from Allah and from His commands, we are actually running into danger. That's something I want us to understand. When we are fleeing away from the commands of Allah, thinking that we are fleeing into, like we're going into a refuge, we're actually going into a danger. May Allah make us beautiful slaves of Al-Muhaymin. May Allah increase us in tawakkul. May we have such firm tawakkul that nothing can shake us, that nothing can take us away from trusting Allah, from relying on Him. May Allah help us to develop a relationship with the Qur'an. I teach Qur'an, I study Qur'an, but I still need to develop my relationship with Qur'an. So all of us are on this journey together. May Allah put barakah, may the Qur'an witness for us and not against us. And I always say, may Allah make us women of Qur'an. Because if we are women of Qur'an, then that is true wealth right there. You know, subhanallah, dunya and akhirah. Subhanallah.